back when I worked as an in-person trainer. I had this client, hefty guy, overweight guy, probably somewhere in his 30s or so. He said he wanted to get big. He said he wanted to pack on a bunch of muscle. And I asked him, I said, you're talking about getting big and packing on muscle. Like, what specifically for? Like, are you competing in powerlifting, strongman, anything like that? He said, no, I'm actually just trying to get my physique in check. And I want to start getting abs, but I want to have a lot of muscle. I want to look good. And so I asked him, so you're purely just going for aesthetics and you want to pack on a lot of muscle with that? He's like, yeah, if I could just put on, another 20 pounds of muscle, that'd be awesome. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, okay, this is the first time I met this dude. Do I just tell him now? Or do I wait a little bit and see what he's actually trying to see? Because I might be misunderstanding something. And so we go as far as to go through a few assessments. He can't really even squat down to parallel. A lot of knee pain. A lot of other things going on. His gut's getting in the way of him squatting. And I ask him again in a different way. So you're really just focused on looking better? It's not for anything functional or anything like that? Nah, man. I'm trying to look good for summer. Okay. So at that point, that's when I realized as a coach, wait a minute, a lot of people don't understand that you don't need to bulk to look good, to get aesthetic. And I think that's a common misconception because a lot of men that come to me, they'll typically be like, dude, coach, like I'm trying to get big. Elijah, like if I can put on 10 pounds of lean muscle, that'd be amazing. That's going to completely fix my physique. And I'm sitting here thinking, well, you're 25% body fat, you're 30% body fat, and you're talking about getting big? Like, you're already big. You already have a lot of size to you. You already have a lot of mass to you. And I think a lot of people assume that, oh, well, when I'm bulking, I could just eat whatever I want. And that's not always the case, but that's the reason people want to do it. Even for my own sake, I've always actually typically been a leaner person. I try to keep myself pretty healthy, make sure I'm working out, make sure I am controlling my nutrition, keeping things in check. A couple years ago, I went on a bulk, like a serious bulk, where I'm like, I've never been like bigger in my life, like thicker, stronger, and I was just looking to get really strong, very powerful, and just look, fill out clothes to another level while looking muscular. And so this was supposed to be a 16-week process. Typically for my clients even, I'll say, hey, 8 to 16 weeks, that's usually like a good amount of time to either let yourself really truly experience a cut or truly experience a bulk, depending on which direction we're headed in. And that 16 weeks ended up turning into 2 years. And the reason for that was not because, oh yeah, this bulk is just going absolutely amazing right now. In fact, I actually lost my ab. I lost my 6-pack. When I came to a 4-pack, I was like, oh, okay, no, we're good. Like, I can still see something. We're good. My energy is up. I'm pushing crazy weight. I'm eating whatever I want. And after those 16 weeks, I realized I kept hitting stages of fat, like to where you can barely see the abs, and then I'd go back to maintenance, and then that's when I would start to kind of lean out a little bit more, and then I would start bulking again without giving it enough time to actually lean out. And I looked like crap. I literally looked like a slob. And I was a slob. I was literally succumbing to gluttony every single day. I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm going to have a dinner here, and then I'm going to go to my girlfriend's house. We're going to eat a dinner there, and then we're going to go out for dessert. I'm going to get a chocolate peanut butter banana shake, and then I'm also going to eat a burger with that. And I'll get some fries on the side as well because I'm trying to bulk. And it was really just a huge excuse for me to eat as much as I want whenever I want. And through that process, I didn't even realize I was actually just losing my discipline. I had no discomfort whatsoever. I remember there's a few times, Korean barbecue, all you can eat sushi, back-to-back days, and I still had like a regular 2 or 3 other meals during those days. Like I didn't even prep to like control my calories. I was like, oh, well, if I eat 5,000 calories in back-to-back days, so be it. I'm bulking. And I pretty much just use that as an excuse to where I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of just throwing this word around. I'm not even like actually bulking. Like, yeah, did I get a lot stronger? Sure. But I was also started at like 10%, 12% body fat. I started way leaner when I started that bulk. And a lot of clients and guys, they'll come to me saying like, hey, I'm trying to look good. I'm trying to pack on muscle. what can I do to look better the fastest? And people don't realize it is so much easier to lose fat than it is to pack on lean muscle. When you are losing fat, you actually you shape so much better than what you do when you pack on muscle, because you don't realize packing on lean muscle takes time. It's not that, I gained a pound on the scale, but I've been working out a lot. Like that's muscle, right? Like muscle's more dense. No, dude, you're freaking 32% body fat. You're just hanging on to a little extra water because your body needs it from all those workouts you've been trying to hit. So if you are above 15% body fat, 18% body fat, within that range, your job should be to lean down first before you ever consider a bulk, because that bulk isn't going to serve you. As much as you think it might, it won't. Like if we had, let's say someone offered you $1 million. Hey, I'll give you $1 million if you either lose 10 pounds of fat or build 10 pounds of muscle first. Whichever one you can do first and look better in, that's what we're going to do. And I think a lot of guys that at least I've talked to will say, well, yeah, let me just pack on the muscle because I'll really fill out my frame. Yes, muscle helps you fill out the frame, but do you realize that you just walking more, just having a little bit of restriction, a little bit of a deficit, of a caloric deficit, do you realize that is going to be so much easier than hitting, hundreds of workouts, making sure you're taking the proper nutrition exactly to a point to where you're not getting fat, but you're also building muscle in the process. Like muscle doesn't just build overnight. Some people even work out like 7 days a week doing this crazy stuff, and it's like, well, you also need to let yourself recover now too. So we're running into different challenges here. But if you're in a position where you think, wow, should I cut right now or should I bulk right now? What does that process look like? How do I make my decision? I'll make it easy for you. If you're 15+% body fat, you should definitely be cutting. If you are not at a healthy body weight or a body composition, like you're skinny fat, where you have a lot of fat in your abdomen area, and then your shoulders, your arms, your chest, you have like no muscle there, you kind of have like man boobs, that means you should be cutting. You should be shredding. You should be trying to lean out, because there is no point in you adding more muscle to your frame. There's no point in adding more size to your frame, because when you tell yourself, well, I could just eat that extra food and really carb up and then I'm going to have great workouts and great pumps. Yeah, you already are doing that. You are already carbing up and eating too many calories in general. Like you're already fueled for your workouts. You have all that extra fat on you for fuel anyway. Like you're utilizing that in the gym, and you're doing that every single day. And that is not, by you adding more calories to that, we're just putting like a Band-Aid on the problem. Like, oh yeah, it's going to give me really good energy and then I'll have killer workouts. But then it's like, yeah, well, you're also, okay, now you're up 3% body fat. Where do we go from here? Are you just going to keep bulking? Are you going to go back to maintenance? How's that going to work? But if you haven't ever been actually lean in your life, like if you have never seen at least a 4-pack, a 6-pack, then you honestly haven't earned the right to actually bulk. Now, you should be going to the gym consistently regardless. You should be getting your steps in. You should be paying attention to your nutrition regardless. Tracking stuff, that's another thing. A lot of people hate tracking their calories. Yeah, that is literally, how do we bring awareness? How do we shoot a target that we can't see? You have to have some sort of awareness of what you're doing and what your habits look like day to day. And if you can't even track for a week of what you're doing, which you're putting in your body, then why are we even considering just not paying attention to that? And another thing too is a lot of people think that, well, if I put on all this size, I'm just going to absolutely look bigger. But in reality, the leaner you get, the bigger you look as well. It's almost like an optical illusion to where, okay, I see this new striation here and this new vein here and these different cuts. Like all these things make you actually appear bigger than what you are. I remember when I took a photo of myself when I weighed 190 pounds, I was probably like hovering around 20% body fat. I'm like, wow, I don't even really look that big. Like, yeah, I'm pretty strong right now, but I don't look as big as I thought I did. And on top of that, like right now, I keep touching the 160 zone as far as body weight goes, 160 pounds, 169 pounds or so. And I'm looking at the photos now versus when I was 190 pounds. I pretty much look bigger as I'm 20 pounds down than what I did when I was 190. And I'm like, how's that? Like, it's almost crazy how that's 20 pounds on a frame where it's like, if I weighed 270 pounds, 270 to 250, you're not going to notice a huge difference. Like that body fat just you're too high of a body fat for you to actually start seeing a huge difference, other than maybe a smaller version of you. But when I saw how big of a difference that is in poundage, and then I realized, wow, I look not just better being at a lower body fat percentage, but I also look bigger at a lower body fat percentage. And I think most people forget that. They forget that as you lean out, you actually appear bigger to other people, to yourself. And it, like I said, those veins, those cuts, not only are they just more aesthetic in general, but they make you feel better about yourself too, because it's a different form of progress. Instead of counting the jelly rolls or counting the chins you have, it's like, oh wow, cool, I never seen this before. Wow, that's sick. Oh, you see how my tank top is like resting, like there's space in between my collarbone because my trap's popping. I never had that before. It used to just be rounded over. Little things like that. I know that sounds like super nitpicky and detailed, but these are the things my clients say to me, like, wow, I never noticed this. I never had this forearm vein. I never had these veins in my hands before. How's that possible? Like, this is pretty sick. This feels different. And I think when it comes to bulking, it's just almost an excuse for everyone to go ham on whatever they want. And in that process, like even for myself as a fitness coach, this is while I'm coaching clients too. I just kept thinking, yep, I'm getting bigger, I'm doing better, I know what I'm doing, I'm good. And I let myself go completely. And I realized, wait a minute, me just eating whatever I want, not practicing any restraint, not practicing any discipline, it started slipping in other areas of my life too. So me lacking the discipline with my fitness, which I normally have as a pretty strong grasp on, that started spilling into other areas, and that wasn't fun. I started to realize I was becoming more lazy, a little bit more envious, more lustful. I was just giving into things more, and it's like, yeah, that is not the standard that you uphold for yourself when you are lean. When you are lean, you're dialed in, you're locked in, you know what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing. And even when you are tempted by those things, by eating a whole buffet of food in front of you, you still have some sort of self-control because you realize, like, hey, I shouldn't be doing that right now. That does not work towards my goals. That does not actually progress me in the right direction. Now, what about the people that should bulk? Because honestly, I'm just going to keep it so hot. Like 99% of people should not, 99% of men, adults, should not be bulking. That there's almost no point to that at all, just for the 10 minutes I just talked about. But for the people that do want to actually bulk, like if you're 8% body fat, you're 12% body fat, you're at a lean stage, you could see your six pack, maybe you're starting to lack a little bit of energy and you want to actually continue to put on size, don't even bulk like I'm just going to eat whatever I want, because that's where that discipline and that lack of discipline comes in, where you start to develop that over time and it starts to just drag you down and suck you under, and you don't even realize that it's doing that to you until it's too late. You're already fat. But even when you do go on a lean bulk, shred down to lower body fat percentage, see the six pack, see the veins, allow yourself to experience what you look like, how you feel, how you move, your aura on a day-to-day basis, and then realize that as you continue to build yourself back up, you want to take it slow. You want to do like a lean bulk, a main gain, if you will. Not even really that, because you still need to be in a slight surplus. But on a bulk, you are gaining fat regardless. There's no such thing as bulking, and it's just only muscle you're adding onto your frame. You're holding on to a lot more water. You're gaining fat in the process, and the goal is to build muscle along with that. So that's something that's super common, where most guys will cut down, they'll start to lose like 5 pounds. They're like, oh wow, that cut went really good. All right, I think I'm gonna like maintain and then start bulking now. It's like, no, you just got to the start of your cut to where you're now finally seeing progress. Like, you have to keep your foot on the gas. You can't just allow yourself to push just a little bit. Okay, now I'm uncomfortable and I want to eat again. No, that's not how this works. That's the whole reason you've never been lean to begin with. And that's part of the problem, is that you need to keep your foot on the gas. And when you are bulking, same thing. You want to keep it lean. You want to keep it smart. You're still eating whole foods. You're still making smart choices. You're still just going in a slight surplus. And that's only if you've been at a very low body fat percentage and you're trying to pack on size in a smart way, not just to be a gluttonous freaking anime character. Gluttony, have you ever seen Full Metal Alchemist for the anime nerds out there? Like literally gluttony. Just bottomless pit of a stomach. Fat dude, freaking, you get the point. But essentially, if we're in 2026 and like the next person I hear says like, I'm trying to go on a bulk, and they're skinny fat, they're 20% body fat, they're 40% body fat. I have no idea why the amount of men that I have talked to that are trying to get big, they think that, well, yeah, I'm 30% body fat, but if I just continue to pack on this muscle, like, I'm going to be good, dude. I'm going to be filled out. It's like, no. You need to get to 20% body fat, and then you'll look a little bit better while you're still lifting, while you're still practicing good habits, getting your steps in, doing good things, and then you're going to get to 15%. And then you can go to 10%. Because your body just operates differently at 10% versus 15%. Not just your body, but like your brain, your mentality, all of it. And if you have not experienced that 10% body fat, even freaking less than 15% body fat, if you haven't experienced that as a man, as an adult, you are missing out. And not just on the physical positives of it, but quite literally just the social side of things, the mental side of things, the emotional side of things, the control that you have over your life. It all makes a huge difference. So if you're looking to lean out in 2026, you're actually looking to gain control of your life, you've never been there, or you haven't been there since you were in like as a kid or high school, there's a one-on-one coaching application in my bio. Fill it out. Let's see what you have going on. I'll see if I can help you out. If any of this resonated with you, drop a like on the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.